episode 5 of Be Fearless. And we're so glad you're here with us at G.S.T today. And we've got an amazing guest to talk to who actually helps people to look at their fears and begin to overcome them, which is wonderful. I'm Lisa Marie. I'm a primary school teacher, and I am in this wonderful group, Global Life Speakers Talk, and they are brilliant at helping people to get over the fear of public speaking and have given a chance to go in front of the camera and to practice. So good morning, everybody. Thanks for being here. Good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are joining us from in the world today. I would like to introduce our guest. It is Elena, and she is a passionate mindset and transformational coach. She is Procter & Gamble Gallagher Institute consultant, and she helps people to discover their true potential and live the life of their dreams by studying and becoming aware of the primary causes of the results and learning and how to change their behavior patterns by replacing their old paradigms that control their behavior and cause current results into new paradigms to make them achieve their wildest dreams and overcome their fears, as I mentioned. So we are going to dive deep into a discussion with Elena today. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Where are you today, Elena, in the world?
Good afternoon. I am in Vienna now.
Lovely. Well, it's wonderful for you to join us here today. And I'm really looking forward to this discussion because I know you've got a lot of wonderful insight to share about this topic. So I'm going to just jump in with my first question, if that's okay with you.
Yes, sure.
Okay. So can you tell us all about some situations in your life when you have experienced fear?
Oh, yes. There were so many of such situations. I will share with you maybe just few of them. First time I remember that I had felt really fear for my life is when I studied in institute, and that
Apologies.
Shall we start from beginning?
No, that's fine. Apologies.
Okay. Yes, so first time when I seriously felt fear in my life, when I was a student, and it was 1991 when the Soviet Union collapsed, and my father was scientist, and I remember how he was going every day to job, and for 2 years he didn't make any money, he didn't receive salary, and all our savings in banks, they just became paper because there was no money which was for Soviet Union, and it was just transmutation between different countries. Like our country became independent first time, and instead of money, we just had some coupons that just printed on paper. And when the situation happened and we didn't have any money, my mother was a housewife. She didn't work. And my father couldn't make any money for 2 years. And the time I really felt fear because there were days when we didn't have food to eat. And I understood first time what means hunger and what it means not having food at home. Although I had a happy childhood and we're supposed to be like a good family to have good incomes. But when this happened, it first time just I realized that there is nobody in the world who can help me and my family because we didn't have relatives. And that first time I realized that it is only me who I rely on. And I was a student, and I remember the time that I studied in private institute. And it was a third year of my education in institute, and we didn't have money to pay for my education. So my father had to sell his car to pay for my education. And the last semester, when I already was close to graduate, and we had to pay, and we didn't have any, like we sold everything what we had. And the last thing I remember that I went to the dean of institute and offered him a type recorder, like typing machine. Typing, that time they were typing machines as a payment because it was situation. So that time I really, first time I was thinking, started thinking about life, and I got fear because I understood that nobody in the world can help me, and my family. So I didn't know what to do because at that time there was no internet, no such job. And what I thought I can do, I just found solution in knowledge. So I was going, after my classes, I was going to library and was learning English. I thought I need to learn English to find the way out of this closed environment, which didn't show to me to have any bright future. So this is the first story that I remember, that I faced that fear, and I just found what I can do in that situation. So I studied, I graduated institute with excellency, and I was offered scholarship from Iranian government. At that time, they offered scholarship to only one person from different countries, and I got scholarship for master degree and PhD in Iran, in Tehran University. So this is just short story about how I overcame my first fear, and how I just went out of that closed space that time and moved from there to become successful. And also there are, of course, so many situations in my life. And one also time when I really again faced this situation. Like when I married, by that time I had business, I was successful, but when I married, my husband didn't want me to work, and he wanted me to close business, and he wanted me just to be like housewife. And I didn't have income. Like I married my husband, and then we lived in different countries. And when my daughter was 1 year, I decided to separate from my husband, because I understood that it was not life that I wanted to live and that I could be happy. So I had some sort of depression, and then after that I made this decision. So this was decision also, it need me to be very brave, because by that time I didn't have any income. I had my little daughter, she was just 1 year old, and I made a decision to separate from my husband and come back to Ukraine. And when I came back, I again had this fear because my father got a head stroke, and my mother in 1 month got heart stroke.
Oh, wow.
So I just found out myself without any income, with a small child which was super hyperactive. I couldn't give her to kindergarten anywhere. I just was taking care of her myself all days and nights. And my two parents who were sick. And again, I found myself in this situation, and I really felt fear because I had nobody. We didn't have any relatives. So again, I knew that it is only me who can help me and my family. So I went to internet and I started to look for different MLM companies, because my father friend told me that there is a way how to make money on internet. So I went to internet and I just started from zero. I went to Skype. Now, when I look it back, it is just really, I just was looking for the ways to become resourceful. And again, I started with nothing. I had no knowledge about network marketing, but that power inside of me to be resourceful, it helped me to win again. So after some loss in different companies, I found very good company, and they had promotion. So I just focused on that, and already in 1 month, I made $2,000. That was huge money for that time for me.
Amazing.
And then I started with this company. I became very successful, became leader, and I participated in events, and it happened so fast. And it helped me to create that power, right? Like so many cases in my life that I was in situation that totally like very dark place, but again, it helped me to grow.
Mm.
And then what happened in 2014, 8 years ago, they started war with Russia. And we lived just near Russian border, just 60 kilometers. And when this war started, we knew that Russia gets all their like tanks and all these weapons across the border, which was so close to us. And that time, I made my decision to take all my family out of Ukraine. So I went just to Cyprus. We didn't have anybody, I didn't know anything about that. But we went there and we started again life from zero in a new place. Also, another way time when I overcame my fear, I also went to Malaysia with my small daughter. Also, I had idea of business, and I went to Malaysia with my daughter, and I started business there from zero. I remember how I came from the plane, and I was so tired after a long flight, more than 10 hours. And I just asked, where is the nearest hotel? Because I just wanted to sleep. And when I woke up, I started making plans how to live. And we lived there some months. And also I created good connections, and I created a business. And also one time when I felt fear, it is when we went with my daughter for one tour. And part of the tour was jumping from the rock. I was not thinking about jumping because my daughter was just 5 years old. And I was not thinking about jumping at all. I told her, let's go and watch how others jump. But when I was walking there, I was telling you about being brave. And you see that people, they don't afraid, they overcome their fears. And when we get to the place, and when she saw that people jumping, she told her, I want to jump. And that time I couldn't contradict her, because it was me who telling her that it is good to be brave. So I supported her, and she jumped, and I had fear, of course, because it was 7 meters, it was very high. And I jumped after her, of course. And so it was very such a story. And the last one, which I want to share with you, of course, it is the recent one. It is when this war started, 24 February. And I just came from Dubai. I was in a very nice hotel in vacation. And when I was there, I heard that the war is going to start. All my friends starting to call me, Elena, where are you? The war is going to start in Ukraine. You should get out. And I decided to go to Ukraine. So the next day when I came, in the morning, I heard this siren and planes noise nearby. I didn't understand what is happening, but then my friends called and told, Elena, the war started. And they told, and this airport, which was bombed, it was just 1 kilometer from our house. And actually it was dangerous to stay there. So they just told me, Elena, just come to us outside of city. And I told my family, my mother and my daughter, that let's get ready. Just I didn't want them to be panic, but I told, okay, just take some things which we need and let's go to our friends. And in half an hour we went to our friends, and that day I made decision to leave Ukraine because our friends also lived in the place there was not like strategic place. So I left Ukraine the same day. So we didn't take anything. We left with documents only, and we just got a couple of warm clothes. So this was the recent situation where I really felt fear. Yes, because. It is something that it is difficult to accept, right? The war and violence and what is going on. And also I got the fear, faced the fear because my mother was not feeling well. She is 84. And actually, when I told her that we are leaving, she was already going to sleep. And she was not happy about this decision that we should leave in the evening. And actually on the way we called 2 times ambulance to help my mother to cross the border alive. So this is the fears which I had. Actually these are just few, and I shared with you just a very little part of my fear story, which I think one day I will write a book and more detailedly describe every of these situations.
I absolutely think you should write that book, and I would be one of the first lining up to read it. I'm absolutely fascinated listening to you. And one thing I've taken from what you've said is that whenever you've faced a fear, you've not even hesitated. You've gone straight in to overcome it and find strategies and ways to deal with it. And I see from the way you talk that it made you, that rather the fear, not only did you overcome the fear, but the fear almost made you this much more powerful person by always facing a fear immediately and going over it. And so it was like nothing was going to stop you. Every fear that you reached, you're going to find it and overcome, which I think is just a wonderful lesson for us all, because sometimes we don't have a choice, do we? We have to face our fear and we have to find a way through. But you were taking action immediately, which I love. And I would love to hear more of your stories, as I'm sure the audience would. Is there something that you would like to share with the audience that is some particular strategy or a way that you've overcome, and ways that you've not allowed your fear to prevent you from doing anything? You've not allowed it to stop you from following your dreams or anything you needed?
I think that the first thing that helped me, actually, at that time when I was in that situation, I wasn't thinking that it is helping me because I was thinking there is nobody to help me, right? So that time I was thinking that way. But now when I'm looking back, actually it helped me because there was nobody to help me. So the only way for me to solve that situation, it was me, right? So I relied only on me. So because I relied on me, it made me to be resourceful. Because when we just think that somebody else is there to help us, or if we look for solution in different outside factors, we lose our power, right? But when we take responsibility on us and we just think that there is nobody but me who is responsible for my life and for decision which I make and for actions which I make, how I think, how I feel, how I act. And when we have this position and we face our fears from this strong position, that it is me and I'm going to solve this, whatever it takes, it gives us the power to overcome the fear. So when we face the fear, it disappears. Yeah, so I think one is this: take responsibility, just don't look outside for solution and just find a solution in yourself, because you are able, you are capable to overcome every situation in your life.
That's wonderful. That's such good advice. I think what you've said about being responsible for your actions is really important, not just with fear, but in all aspects of life. Definitely. Very, very wise words there. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience that you think would help them before we finish? It's been absolutely fascinating. And I'd love to have you back on to share some more of your stories with us.
Of course, yes. If we speak about fear, I would like to share also that it is fear which stops us from growing. It is not being lazy or not just willing to do something hard. It is fears. And the real life starts from the place where fears ends. And I would like to share this that people who really want to grow and achieve their big goals, they should learn how to overcome fears, because everything what we desire and we know inside us that we can achieve, right? We have this inside power which tells us that we deserve more, that there is a better life for us, and we can achieve the biggest dreams, biggest goals. So we can achieve those dreams just when we learn to overcome fears, because the fears just keep us, hold us in that our comfort zone, and with those habits, everyday habits, and our patterns of thinking and acting, which brought us to the results which we have now. And if we want different results, if we want to achieve bigger goals, we need to grow. And only one way to grow is to overcome our fears and grow and learn from our wins over our fears, because nothing can stop us if you decide. If you decide to achieve your big goal, there is a way. And if you believe, if you have right attitude, if you know how to overcome your fears, you will grow and achieve your goal sooner or later.
Definitely. And I think you're a really good example to show us of the motivation that we can have to grab hold of those fears we have every day and face them, because very inspirational stories that you've shared today. And congratulations for becoming the wonderful, powerful, fearless woman that now sits here in front of us. And we're absolutely blessed to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for being with us, Elena. Unfortunately, we've run out of time, so it's time for us to say goodbye to the audience, but I would love to welcome you back again so we can hear more, because I know that this is one of the topics that you help your clients with, and just the same as the fear has helped you to become the person you are. So everybody, thank you for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you haven't managed to catch us live, then please drop in the comments, #replay when you do watch it, because we'd love to see that you enjoyed it. Give us your comments and feedback on today's podcast, and we'll see you again next week at 11 a.m. for episode 6. Thank you so much, Elena. It's wonderful to have you. You have a wonderful day there in Vienna. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. All the best.
We're still live.